Welcome everyone to HueFin, also known as HueFin News. Today is August the 29th, 2020. And the reason why you probably clicked on this video was because we're trying to give you all a stock, an airline stock that is definitely showing some indications of some continuational strength. And we're going to talk about that on this video. It is Alaskan Airline. This particular stock has been showing monumental strength, and we're going to talk about that on this video. But first, if this is your first time watching our video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then on top of that, join us on all of our other social media platforms, specifically Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then on our own website at HueFinancial.com. Definitely want to enlarge our presence on the internet. We want to make sure that each and every one of you continually see our content, because we want to give you all a heads up as to what we are noticing strictly from the price chart. And if you guys haven't realized, you're able to foresee where the market is likely to go prior to anyone else talking about it, or even mainstream media bringing it up into the news. And this is the key area. This is the key point that many people are missing in regards to maintaining profitability and getting profits out the market. So now let's talk about Alaskan Airlines real quick. So you guys can see, I really wanted to show you why this particular stock is generating massive strength on a long-term perspective. Okay, you guys can see we have about 3 more days before the month of August ends, and we're going to look at this particular stock from that perspective. Okay, so we have 2 days and 3 hours left before the month of August is completed and over. It will be historical information going forward. And starting out with Alaska Air, you guys can see that this particular stock has been trading on the exchange ever since like 1969, 1970. And it was trading around $2, $1 per share at that particular time. And then we saw this massive explosion occur in the value of each particular share of this stock back in 2010, all the way to climaxing around 2017. And now the market in Alaska Air is in a downtrend, right? So this particular stock was not left out of that massive movement to the downside that occurred in February and March, right? But since that particular time, look at this volume in Alaska Air. You guys can definitely see here that this particular stock has seen some interest, and only large institutions are able to generate this much volume for any security that exchanges itself on the stock exchange in the stock market. This is a major indication that you have massive institutions with big pockets coming in and buying up the shares for Alaska Air. Keep that in mind as we continually see this stock trade on the exchange. Okay, now look at the last 2 months. Okay, not including this month of August. I'm talking about July and June. The market did see some indications of weakness for this stock, but you know what? When you add on the month of August and you see the spread and where the market is currently closed, that there is a massive indication of continuational strength coming through in the market for Alaska Air. You guys can tell based off that alone that the interest in higher price from the trap perspective is still there. Taking a look at Alaska Air on the weekly time frame, look how we concluded last week. This market for Alaskan Air on a weekly basis, it has endured some weakness, I would say starting the week of May the 26th all the way to this current weekly price bar we just got finished with. It has endured it. What I'm simply telling you is that the trap, he was accumulating the shares of Alaska Air right there in between $35 for support all the way up there towards $43 for restriction. It is there, and it's not that complicated to see, because like I told you, look at this volume. This volume definitely stands out from what we've seen prior to. Look at this. This volume is monumental versus what has been trading in Alaska Air back in 2019 and beginning of 2020. So what exactly is going on in this market for Alaska Air? That's right. The trap is filling his bags with Alaska Air. So now the question that we need to answer is, where is restriction? So let me zoom out. And there are some close points that shows you market restriction for Alaska Air. And one of them, the market tried to break through right there around $44. And you can see it. Let me draw it for you on this weekly chart. So that area is restriction, and we're currently hitting restriction right now in Alaska Air at this vicinity, right here where the market came and held support. So we got two areas of restriction relatively close in the market for Alaska Air. Keep that in mind. But nevertheless, like I told you, based off the volume, based off the price bars that we're getting on the monthly and the weekly time frame, Alaska Air definitely wants to continue to go higher in price. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in a forecast into the market for Alaska Air, and depending on your time preference will determine how high you expect the market to go. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and play this on a weekly time frame in the market for Alaska Air, and let's go ahead and create our forecast out real quick. So $35 is going to be the area of support that we are going to eye in the market for Alaska Air. Okay, now we already established where some area of restriction can be at. We are there now at Alaska Air at $41. I'm not suspecting that's going to really be a problem for the trap to break above. So we're going to have to go to the next area of restriction, which is going to be around $44, $45 a share. So let's go ahead and place a TP at that particular place. Okay, around $44. But again, the market strength is definitely still there for a long-term purview. And that's why we're going to try to extend it all the way out there towards $48 in this space for Alaskan Air. And a matter of fact, you know, extremely long-term view for this stock. You guys can see that Alaska Air can hit $52 all the way back here towards 56 in the long term, right? But that's not what we're going to play this forecast video for. We're going to look at this on the weekly. $35 support, $44 our TP area, but we won't be surprised to see the market actually hit 48, especially if we continue to see this overall market strength continue to be played out in the market. So this is our forecast. As always, we want to know what your premise, your idea for Alaska Air, ALK is the ticker symbol. Do you think the market's going to continue to go higher, lower? If so, give us your premise, your opinion, and your TP price. Where do you think the market's going to go in the long term? Questions, comments, let us know. Make sure you maintain a profitability. I'll talk to you on the next one.